Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my special mini series for Bariatric Banter podcast, GLP-1's After Surgery. So sorry about the delay on this one. Had a little bit of technical difficulty, and then I had a dog emergency. Bo is fine, but it kind of threw off my timing on getting this done. So I had literally been in the middle of recording, and then the recording broke, and then I tried to record again, and then the dog was sick. So I'm back. Welcome to episode 2, where I am on my second week of a GLP-1 after bariatric surgery. So for those who are new, hi, my name is Hannah. I had bariatric surgery March 2023. I had a starting weight of about 320 pounds, and I lost 160 pounds. I got into running. I was doing really well, and then I got pneumonia last Christmas and was hospitalized with it, and then spent a whole year just really struggling to get back on my feet after that. The pneumonia caused a lot of other things to go wrong, blood sugar issues, just a lot of stuff. And so I had a whole year where I wasn't running, wasn't doing anything. I've now regained 40 pounds, and I am starting a GLP-1 to get rid of that 40-pound regain and get back to, my goal weight and where I was. So that's a little bit about me and where we're at. Listen to episode 1. It kind of goes into more detail. But yeah, welcome to week 2 on a GLP-1. So let's talk about the first week and the first injection. So for those who listened to episode 1, it was pretty raw and emotional about why I was on this journey. A lot of tears, a lot of crying around running, and just having to admit where I'm at and why I'm there, which was really hard. So now releasing those episodes and talking about it, I've had to have those conversations with people in my family and extended circle that yes, this is where we're at. It's been amazing that I've been met with so much support from our community, from listeners, from everyone sharing that they're in this experience or that they appreciate the rawness. I've had so many people reach out and say, you're the reason I'm getting surgery, or you're the reason I started running and, watching my fitness. And it's just been incredible to hear from you. And no one has been judgmental. There's been some questions about, do you really need to be taking this? Because for me, I obviously see the weight gain. I can see it in my face. I can see it in photos. I can see it in my clothing. For other people, I'm still not 320 pounds, right? So for them, they're not maybe seeing it as much as I am. But I told them, this is what I'm choosing to do. I'm doing it with the help of my doctor. I'm not just out here buying Ozempic and, going willy-nilly with it. And it's not a forever thing for us. Maybe it will be one day. But right now, the kind of test and what we're doing is, can we use this to kickstart getting rid of the 40-pound regain? And then can we get back to good habits and maintain? Because I was maintaining my weight loss very well until obviously super illness and getting kind of derailed and, making bad choices crept back in. So yeah, I am fully supportive of that goal as well, that this is a tool and we're going to use this tool to kind of kickstart where I need to be and then try to maintain that on my own. So Week one was pretty good. I've lost just shy of 6 pounds, which is crazy. Part of me feels like that's a lot of water weight because 6 pounds in a week, first of all, should not be done without, medical supervision or being a bariatric patient or taking Ozempic. Fast weight loss is considered 2 pounds a week, and you don't want to go too quick because it can cause a lot of medical issues. So I'll leave that up to you guys to look up, but rapid weight loss is not healthy. I'm attributing it a lot to water weight, and that's probably what was shedding last week. But just shy of 6 pounds lost in my first week. I had no noticeable side effects of the typical variety. So no nausea, no vomiting, no diarrhea, no constipation, no headaches, no migraines, no dehydration. So nothing really in that category. I didn't have foods that made me feel ill. Not that I tested a whole lot, and we'll get into that, but nothing that made me go, oh boy, I'm super sick. As the week progressed, there was maybe a little bit more nausea building, but again, it's like a 2 out of 10 blip, barely noticeable, not really impacting my day. But as the week went on, I would message Steph and say oh, maybe the nausea's kicking in now. But then it wouldn't really last. So I'm fortunate that I do not have side effects. Now, again, I'm on 0.25 milligrams, the lowest dose you can possibly be on. I don't know if I'm going to go up to 1 milligram because at this point in time, I don't need to. I am feeling the restriction in a good way. I am feeling a little bit of the food noise. I don't think all of it, but enough that I am noticing like I don't have hunger cues. I'm not thinking about lunch while I'm eating breakfast. I'm not thinking about, like eating inappropriate snacks and things. So that is working, maybe a little too well, but that part is working. I do have bruising. So I will say that's a side effect I'm not a fan of. I've reached out to my mom and some other people to say like, how do you make these heal faster? And the response is like, there's nothing really that you're going to be able to do. And my mom said it best, like that's like the stomach is an area that is slow to heal in general. And I was like, yeah, it's a good point. It's a lot of loose skin and a lot of fat. Like if it's going to bruise, it's going to bruise. It's probably not going to get as much blood flow as other places, and it's just not going to heal as fast. So the bruising has been a little, like I won't even say it's painful. It's just like really gross to look at. And the fact that it's still here at the end of a week. Now, my mom did say it looks like it's healing. Like it goes from certain colors to other colors. And the colors that we're seeing now mean that it is, healing. Like you are progressing through. And I was like, I know, it's just like, it's so big, like the circumference of, I don't know, like 2 toonies put together. Americans are going to be like, what the circumference of like in between a golf ball and a baseball. So it's big, which is crazy because the needle is very tiny. I did not feel the needle going in. It wasn't that painful to inject. Now, you are injecting liquid, so the needle itself, not painful at all. Didn't feel it. Do you feel the liquid? Not really, but you feel the pressure, right? Because like it's obviously fluid going in. So that was the one thing that I did comment on after. Ooh, there's pressure. Like it's like the lightest version of cramps. It's like the couple of days before your cramps start. Like there was definitely abdominal pressure. Kind of like after you've done a Pilates class or you've done, a good workout involving your core. That kind of like achy abdomen feeling? That is exactly what it felt like. And that was it. Just kind of achy abdomen. But yeah, the bruise is gigantic. It's not really gone. So I injected on the other side of my stomach this time. Yes, I've thought about my thigh and my arms and all the other places. I'm not using other places just yet because I've done some reading and people have said they have used other injection places to help cut down on the side effects of being in their stomach. And since I have no side effects of injecting in my stomach, I'm going to just continue to use the stomach. I've also heard it could be technically more effective in the stomach. And some people have made comments that like they've plateaued in the thigh or it hasn't really worked. So I don't want to start messing around with injection sites just yet. It's a bruise. It's not painful. It's unsightly, but we're going into winter and no one's going to see it anyway. So we'll deal with it. So yeah, that was kind of it. A little tender, a little interesting for the first day or two. And then really nothing. The first couple of days, there was no restriction. There was nothing. It picked up over time. I started to realize towards the end of my first week, like, oh, I'm into bad habits again of waking up, making my protein coffee, ta-da, drinking said coffee, and then not eating again until well after dinner. And I work for a West Coast-based company. So my after work is like 6:37 p.m. Not great. So I wasn't hungry. I didn't have hunger cues. I wasn't starving myself. I wasn't dizzy or faint. But it's not good because eventually that will catch up. We say this all the time on the podcast, especially with vitamins and deficiencies. They do not show up instantly. They will build over time. And then once they start showing up over time, And as bariatric patients, we can't catch up on deficits like other people can. I can't just be like, oh, it's 5 p.m. and I need 1,500 calories and 100 grams of protein. I'll just cram it all into dinner. Nope. So I have to start setting alarms, being more aware of what I'm eating, what's going on. It's tough. I will say it's really tough because I'm not hungry. I didn't even find it this tough on surgery because, you've heard us say, like, I was hungry after surgery. Like, I did want to have food. I would just fill up quickly and then move on. This is different. Like, I'm not hungry at all. And that's the whole point of Ozempic. It's to trick your stomach into feeling like it's full and to slowly empty your stomach. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. And I will say I don't want big meals. I have no desire to sit down and have like vegetables, meat, and a starch. Nope. At most, I'll have a chicken breast. let me preface, it's a chicken breast stuffed with some cheese and some ham. Like, it's delicious as all hell. But like, the amount of food that I want or possibly could eat now is like, those Michelina microwave meals? That's about as much as I can fit in now. And I'm not unpleasantly full, but like, that's all I want. So I actually have gone back to buying freezer meals because I haven't had time to meal prep. And the goal will be I'll make my own freezer meals. But I've gone back because in Canada, the Superstore has an amazing frozen section called the PC Blue Menu or Blue Label freezer meals that are low calorie and high in protein. So like 17, 18, 19 grams of protein in some of these. They are portioned so that they're only about 200 to 290 calories a serving. And you can get things like fettuccine Alfredo, broccoli carbonara, like, you know what they look like. That's going to tide me over till I meal prep. Am I going to live on freezer meals? No, but it's going to be my tide over because I am needing something very quick to just put in front of me and go, you have to eat this. The other thing is like snacking is what I want to do instead, not mindless or bad snacking, but what I would prefer to have is like some cubes of cheese, some grapes, and some crackers, or maybe some like little turkey pepperettes and a hard-boiled egg. So like this really does feel like the early basic days of bariatric surgery. I just want small, frequent things. I won't be doing giant, big meals. I need small, frequent things. So I've got my little yogurt packs. I have my meal prepping in my head going on. I know what I want to make. I actually bought a bunch of no sugar added peaches and water because I find them like a really good midday snack. I want to make sure I'm still getting my fiber. I want fruit. You guys know Steph and I wholeheartedly believe in a lot of fruit after bariatric surgery. Not a whole carton of strawberries in one sitting, but like fruit is important. So I, have some bananas, have some apples, some mandarin oranges, like little things that I can snack on. I need to get back into protein snacks. I know I said I don't want to rely on Built bars and protein shakes, and that is true, I don't. But in the early days of learning how to re-eat on this medication, I need protein snacks because I'm eating small, frequent amounts. So I'll get some almonds, I'll get some cheese. I'm obsessed with, at our grocery store anyway, they sell the little mozzarella balls. Like they're little tiny 3 mozzarella balls come in a pack. It's like 80 calories and really good protein. I'm obsessed with them because they're prepackaged, easy to eat. I throw a little sugar-free balsamic. My Longo sells a sugar-free balsamic little glaze. Oh, they're so good. They're such a good little snack. I even have Bo eating them, which is great. But little things like that I need to keep around the house because I am really struggling with eating in mealtime. Fatigue, yes, is playing a little part in this, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I'd say my PCOS fatigue, my low iron fatigue, way worse than this. But the fatigue with Ozempic is almost like an apathy fatigue. So as I talk about not wanting to eat, that is what I mean. Like I'm like, no, I don't want food. I'm good. Like I just don't. I don't have the energy or desire to go make something and eat something. That will catch up quickly, right? It's okay, but you need to. So like you need to go meal prep. You need to find the time because if not, you will just focus on work. You won't eat. You'll get more tired. You'll get more worn down and you'll repeat this vicious cycle. So I think when it comes to Ozempic, the more I feel my body, maybe the less kind of that energy dip I will feel where I'm just kind of like, I don't want to make it. I don't want to go get lunch. I don't like that because that eventually leads to takeout, bad habits, shitty snacking. So I think there is a little bit of just exhaustion and fatigue with Ozempic for sure. It's not crippling, but I think it'll catch you in ways you're maybe not expecting it to. And then, like I say, it's going to compound. So in your first couple of days, you're going to be fine. But by day 7, you're probably so tired and you're thinking, well, I'm on Ozempic. I'll just order a burger and it'll be fine. Because I literally had that thought on Thursday. Well, I'm on Ozempic. I'm losing weight. I'm just going to get A&W because it cancels it out, right? And I immediately stopped myself and said, what are you doing? And that's when I started to realize, oh shit, I'm not fueling properly. This is exhaustion speaking. Ozempic does cause, tiredness, but it's compounding, Hannah. You're not fueling your body. I do think being hydrated has helped with the side effects, which is something I actively try. So I still do my Gatorade and sparkling water concoction every day, but the eating has got to catch up with the drinking of the water. Because there was a time last week where I was like, I'm just going to order takeout. And I was like, no, the hell you're not. If you are craving that, and it's okay for us to crave things like that, I want you to go to the grocery store, get ingredients and make it yourself. So I actually did go to the grocery store and I got protein wraps because they were on sale, some iceberg lettuce. I got some barely breaded chicken nuggets, which Costco, by the way, has such a good variety of them. And I said, okay, you're craving, because I don't eat like burgers from fast food. I like the chicken burgers from fast food. So I said, okay, there you go. Make yourself a chicken wrap. And so I did. I got some calorie-wise Caesar dressing and I made a chicken wrap. I ate half of it. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Way less calories than I would have been spending on like a chicken sandwich from McDonald's or from A&W, which, by the way, would have been 500 plus calories. This was 210. And I only ate half. So little things like that, I'm stepping in and catching myself on. Because of my poor planning, I don't get to then go and eat junk food. I am also reintroducing exercise, and that has been great. I'm doing 6K or trying to every other day. Yesterday's plans got derailed because I do have a sick dog on my hands, but we're going to make up for that this weekend. And it's been great to be back out there. I can feel pieces of my old self like under the surface, being like, oh man, you used to run on these roads and like, you've got this. So there is a little fire kind of building that is saying, I think you can do this again. And I was kind of hoping for a sign. And I kind of said to the universe, like, I don't think I can run again. You're going to need to give me a sign. And you guys know that my relationship with running is very hard for me right now to talk about. But I kind of said, I don't know. Just don't think about it. Just, you're not a runner anymore. And if you are in the future, maybe you are, but it's too hard to think about that now. I'm out on these walks and it's a good walk. Like there's uphill. It's like I'm moving quick. I'm got my little Garmin on and I'm kind of checking my pace and I'm going, oh my God, like look at the pace you're doing while walking. And this old thought floated into my head that happened right before I started running. That was like, if you can walk this fast, why don't you jog? You could probably jog. You want to jog a little bit? And for a minute, I kind of thought about like, I don't know, maybe I could jog. Like, do I want to jog a little? And I went, just walk. You're on your first week of Ozempic. Just walk. But there's a little spark coming back. Like there's a little piece of me that's kind of like, hey, I do think that this is going to be possible again. I really think you're going to be able to run again. I think you're going to be able to really impress yourself, but go slow. You got to hit some milestones first. It's not, you're never going to do this again. It's, we're building to getting there. So the exercise has been great because I didn't realize how much I needed it in my life and how much I missed it. It's really hard to go from being obese to working out a lot and then your body feels like it's failing you. It's scary to be like, is it in my head or is my body failing? Like, is my blood sugar off? Are these real heart palpitations? Like, or am I just losing my mind, so to speak? I remember saying that to my therapist, being like, so I'm just like losing my mind, right? And she was like, okay, whoa, first of all, like what are you talking about? And I was like, I don't know, like if the heart tests have all come back clear. And she was like, heart testing has come back clear that you are not in immediate medical crisis, that you don't have anything that is like life-threatening wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you don't have something going on. Benign heart palpitations are still heart palpitations, and they can suck, and they can lead to anxiety, and they can make you feel like shit. Pulled muscles are not life-threatening, but they hurt. And she did a really good job of just reframing it for me that, it's not in my head, but it is hard to feel like you can't trust your body. And it came up in my exercise. Doing my 6 kilometers, I was halfway and I turned around and it was hot and I had a bottle of water and I was being really good. And for a minute I went, oh, you're on Ozempic and you haven't eaten much today. Hannah, your blood sugar, like you're going to start to feel faint and then you're going to have to call an Uber and oh my God, I don't think you can work out anymore. Because I was a little hot and I was a little sweaty and I was a little faint because I was working out. And I had water and I kind of ran through the checklist and said, you have water. You've got a little cookie if you need it with you. It's only 3 kilometers back to the house. If you have to stop and sit down, stop and sit down. You're going to be fine. And I did great. And then I woke up 2 days later and did it again. So there's a lot I have to kind of overcome here. But it's been great to get the exercise back. It clears my head. It gets rid of my anxiety. I think, again, I go back to what I said earlier in the podcast. Everything compounds. So stopping exercise, sure, everything felt great. I still felt like my normal self. I was happy, energized, great. It doesn't happen overnight. So fast forward to months later, I'm not sleeping well. My anxiety's high. I'm eating food I shouldn't be eating. I'm so stressed out at work. And all I want to do is point my finger at something right in front of me. Oh, well, I'm stressed because of this project happening right now. Oh, it's because it's December and it's dark out. Oh, it's because I drink too much coffee in the morning. I wanted to blame everything except for sitting down and going, or is it because you haven't worked out in 8.5 months? And you know that even doing a minimum exercise is really good for stress and clearing your head. And then in the same breath, exercise won't solve everything overnight. You have to do it consistently and you have to build a good cadence. So this series is all about me trying to prove to myself that eating well, exercising, and I know this sounds hilarious, and getting back to what I was practicing so adamantly after surgery makes a huge impact in my life, not just in weight loss, but in stress, happiness, energy, motivation, determination. I was just boom, 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 firing on all cylinders. I wanted to date again. I wanted to do a lot. And then I just kind of let it all go. And that happens. We're humans. I beat myself up about it. I had a lot of grief about it. I clearly still can't deal with the running thing, but I will. And it's tough, but that's human life. Life is never going to be linear and perfect. There's always going to be job loss, stress, good stress and bad stress, deaths, grief, bad, shitty winters. There's just always going to be things. And I think through building a great, sustainable life that has a good balance with food and exercise, you can weather those storms. And whether that means you weather it by stopping for a year and then getting back on track, or you weather it by pushing through and persevering, both of those are totally acceptable plans. So the first week was good. I had anxiety day 5 and 6, which did some reading, seems pretty common. As it wears off in your system, your body kind of starts to go, oh, something's changing. When you have anxiety, it doesn't really know if the change is good or bad and just tells you something's wrong. So I did have some panic and anxiety and restless nights on day 5 and 6. We'll see if that happens again in this week. But to be expected, I have not built up a strong enough tolerance in my body. So by day 5, 6, this starts really coming out of your system. And can just lead to feeling jittery, feeling heart palpitations, just feeling off. But overall, it's been good. It's been good. I started week 2 already, so I did take my second injection, moved to the other side of my body, the left side. That injection sucked. So that one, I felt a lot more than the first one. I think I hit a muscle, which it happens. It's a tiny, tiny needle. Don't worry about it. You're not doing any damage and it doesn't hurt that much, but it felt like a bee sting, okay. And it stayed sore for an hour and a half after. And there was a little bit of blood. So I definitely hit a muscle or something. And by little bit, I mean, I honestly had to squint my eyes and go, oh yeah, okay. And then wipe it away. I've got no bruise yet. And unlike last time, no fluid buildup. So that's pretty positive. No nausea, no exhaustion, no headache, no diarrhea. More abdomen pressure, that's for sure. It feels like I don't know how to explain it, heavy, you're carrying heavy in your abdomen, but it's not painful. But yeah, more abdomen pressure this time around. But I feel okay. The acne has stopped. So woohoo, I have this one. And it'll go away eventually, this little tiny one on my chin, but it finally stopped. So let's cross our fingers that I don't have the hormonal shift again on day 2, 3, 4, 5, and that my body is starting to kind of pick up and balance itself out. please God. And then I'm going to be more adamant with eating. Like I said, I'm not going to be perfect for the first couple of weeks. And I don't think anybody can expect to start a new medication, start walking 5 times a week, and meal prep and eat perfectly. Failure, failure will come from trying to do it all at once. So I did what I knew was best for me. I ordered those freezer meals. They're easy, they're convenient. I can put them in between meetings. I can force myself to make sure that I'm eating, and they're not bad. Yes, they're processed, but guys, like, again, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life, but the calories are low, the protein is high, it's good. I've got a lot of great pre-cut cheese and vegetables and hummus, and oh yeah, I now make guacamole with edamame added in because, like, chef's kiss, added protein, and I get to eat guacamole. Yeah, hands down, awesome. And I'm going to just make sure that I pick and pick and pick. And I think eventually getting used to having smaller meals and eating throughout the day will get me back into the habit of having some freezer, like having an actual lunch, an actual meal. But so far, I would recommend doing this. Work with a doctor, work with a healthcare specialist. If you are not a bariatric patient, I am begging you to get a therapist and a dietitian when you're on Ozempic, because it's like Ozempic alone is not going to fix this. And you desperately need to make sure that you have such a solid understanding of eating habits, great macros, how often to be fueling, what vitamins and minerals you must be on given you're about to have rapid weight loss, and then what led you to that in the first place. Because I'm so grateful for therapy to be able to talk through things like my anger about things and how hard it was to feel like my body's failing me, and to admit that I've gained weight, and like, how did we get here? And to just say, like, maybe I'm not coping with stress the way that I should. But it has been life-changing to have that resource to lean on, going through all this and finding someone who understood bariatric surgery. She's not a bariatric specialist, but she researched it. She took the time to look it up and challenges me to face my fears. So a lot of what we work on, because I do CBT therapy, cognitive behavioral. Mine is not, let's sit and talk about our childhoods and our mothers. And, I'm sure my mom's happy to hear that. But it's about, this is real. This is happening. We're going to do things that counter it. You'll work. This is work. And for me, that's what I like. So some of the things that she made me do was like, I need you to go out for a walk with no watch and no glucose monitor. I need you just to go walk for 15 minutes. And I was like, no, I'm going to faint. Just go, see what happens. Okay, I can't do this. Like, that's crazy. Or putting myself in situations that make me feel faint. So like going and doing a blood test, trying to donate blood, because I have to face the fear of, feeling out of control of my body. Worry scripting, things like that. Like, there's a lot, like, I'm not a therapist and I'm not going to give you guys advice on what to do, but like, this works for me to like work through things and have game plans. So even things like eating and exercising and getting back on track, it's not all or nothing. It's start small, have manageable goals, work towards it, and then explore, like, why is it that you go there when you're stressed? Like, why do you want McDonald's? Why do you want something like that? And it was unpacking that, like, I'm not even really craving that. I just want the speed and convenience of something done. And so that's what led to like, okay, so what can we buy that is kind of an equivalent to that you make instead? So it might seem like common sense, but sometimes you just need that common sense voice to just remind you that, like, you can do it, you can build a plan. And also, everybody in the world feels like you feel. You're not unique or special. And sometimes you need to hear that, because when you're beating the shit out of yourself for regaining weight, and you think, well, I'm the failure and everyone I follow hasn't failed like this, it's great to have that voice remind you you're one of probably millions of people going through exactly this right now. It's just not highly publicized. So if you're going to start your Ozempic journey, I recommend it. Again, there's many, many other options. Try them all. I've had friends who have started on others that have made them horribly ill, and for some reason Ozempic works, and vice versa. And then please make sure you have a dietitian and a therapist, someone to lean on to help you figure out macros and meal planning. I'm cautiously optimistic that this is going to work and this is going to help with my regain. If I start to develop side effects, I am going to come off of it, because I do think I can do this on my own now that I have identified the problem, I've admitted I've regained, and I've learned what I need to do to get on top of it. I know that a combination of dedicated exercise and eating better will really help me get there as well. So I've said to everyone, if stuff starts coming, side effects, and I won't put my body through that, because regardless of losing 5 pounds or 40, I'm still at a really good place. I have lost an exceptional amount of weight. I am still very healthy. I'm in such a better place with my body and my fitness. And I don't want to feel sick, ill, or start to become super malnourished because I'm physically unable to consume food. And again, everyone reacts to these medications differently. Some people don't get this level of restriction until they get up higher, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble about the first week and the second week. And that's what this is. It's just me being raw and honest. Your support has meant the world to me. So all of those messages and encouragement, all of you going through this with me, we've got this. And regain is not failure. It's just life. And they tell you that in the bariatric program, you're going to regain. It happens. Shit happens. But we can get back on track. And I think I know I can. I feel like I know that this will be fine and that I'm going to solve this problem and get on top of it. And that I'm eventually going to get back to the things that I want to get back to. And I can't wait for that. But I'm glad I went through this because it's proven to me that A, I can survive anything and I can go through this. And B, it has shown me how to really prioritize not letting stress railroad what you want to do, and pay more attention to things early on, and also not be afraid to just put my hand up and say, something's not right. I'm not eating well and I need to get a dietitian back on track. So I think the hardest thing was for me to just admit to people I've regained weight, and I almost wanted to hide it, not tell anybody. And I wish that I had spoken out sooner at 10, 15 pounds and said, oh, this isn't great. But I made excuses. Oh, I went on a road trip in the summer and I just, it'll be fine. I should have met with the dietitian sooner. I should have admitted this sooner. I should have gotten the tough love sooner. But lesson learned. And now hopefully what this does is teach me how I can help all of you. And I can explain to you guys that regain is just regain. It's another step in this journey. We're going to lose it all and then become even stronger for it because now we know we can do it with or without a GLP-1. We can do this. So welcome to week 2. Hopefully no side effects to follow. Thanks for listening along. Please send me any questions, any topics you want me to cover, any videos you want me to make. Yes, I'll share what I eat in a day soon. But just thank you all for listening and letting me be so honest and raw. And here's hoping week 2 on Ozempic is a good one. See you next week, everybody.